So hope you're having a happy Leo full moon. The energies have been quite intense. Quite a bit is actually coming through for the counterpart connections. I'm sure many of you have been feeling it in your own right. Last night on Patreon, I got on to do a message. I had no Wi-Fi for a few days. Apparently, my electrical and my Wi-Fi were going through a huge upgrade, which really unfolded to be that representation of the electrical masculine energy. And for me, I interpreted the Wi-Fi upgrade as sort of the telepathic communication upgrading as well. And I was feeling significant amounts of energy coming in, and I felt stable and at the same time a bit wobbly. So these energies are really ramping up, and the masculine collective are coming through in a way that is very much connected with their expansion and their grounding and their own forms of embodiment. Some of the messages that came through were one, I had to just completely get out of the way and channel. So I went back and listened to the messages, and it was coming through quite clearly that the counterparts are being called to support this process. And I was shown that there's sort of different ways that this is unfolding. Some of the twin flame divine counterparts are being called to focus on their physical world union. Some are being called and they're working with the connection and the energies and with the planetary energies. And you work with this, I'm sure many of you know this, working with your inner union and working with your own connection to source and the earth. And many of you might be feeling a ramping up of those sort of sexual energies or the soul merging energies as we are being called to support the stabilization of unity consciousness and union codes on our planet during these huge transitionary times. And then there's also others of you who are being called to hold this space and these energies in the physical, in the higher energies for the planet and on all of the dimensions. And there's, of course, no judgment around whatever you are being called to do. Every counterpart, every pair, every one of you has your own specific purpose, and whatever you are feeling guided to do is exactly where you are meant to be and exactly where you are needed at this time. So just honor whatever you're being called to focus your attention on and know that it's perfect, okay? But I did feel that it was important to mention these processes because I'm definitely aware that there's some who are stabilizing on the earth and through all of the dimensions and sort of holding the pillars open to allow these energies to come through and to stabilize in a new way. Mm. What I feel like I want to do is actually go in and ask what are going to be the most appropriate and beneficial messages for those of you here with me as we're really anchoring and stabilizing the energies, especially connected with this current time, the full moon, the Mars in retrograde. We have some very, very intense, fiery, masculine energies in a very deep transformational process. So you're feeling this, I'm sure, within yourself, but also it's very apparent within the masculine collective. And I've had multiple interactions with many different masculines just over the past like 48 hours. And the energy that's been coming through is very supportive, very stable, very kind, and really stepping into those true masculine energies that's really coming forward. And like I said, with the upgrade to the electrical and the Wi-Fi, it feels like all of us are making more space and capacity for the masculine essences on our planet, the restoration of the sacred divine masculine presence in its true full form. And how exciting and beautiful and gorgeous is that? All right, what did we? Okay, skywriting the fates. And so, what this feels like to me is where the divine energy, the divine order, the divine alignment, that organic earth timeline that we've all been asking for and aligning with is really coming into play. And for those of you who have been actively working with this, um, it feels like you're going to start noticing more and more and more of this faded energy coming in, like the destined energy. And it's coming through yesterday. One of the things that came through, and I kept getting the green light to keep speaking about it, and it's wanting to come through now, is where some of you may receive very unexpected, swift communication from your counterpart. And it's even the ones of you who are like, yeah, whatever. It's more about this divine energy and that divine call and the divine order versus what we think in our mind. Do you know what I mean? So it's very much calling us to be open to the faded energies, to allow the divine to work to us and for us and through us and around us, and continuing to surrender to those higher energies, continuing to trust yourself to take action as you're guided in your true alignment, and allowing what's truly meant to unfold to come back to its true organic alignment is what's coming through. As I was speaking about this, I saw a couple different topics to speak to you about. And there's one specifically for the divine feminines that wants to come through, because I've also seen this ramping up of the feminines really stepping out more into the physical world. And it's been coming through that even if your divine masculine is not present with you in the physical, the divine masculine collective is actually sending in a supportive manner opportunities, experiences, connections, so that the feminine can deepen her true power and embodiment in her authenticity in the physical world. It's up to obviously the divine feminine to choose which things she will participate in. But the part that wanted to come through is that if you have things come up and you're initially not necessarily certain if it's the right thing for you or if you want to do it, it could be a job, it could be a move, it could be a friendship, a relationship, whatever it is. If you're uncertain, that's okay. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. But it's sort of also been coming through that if you feel guided to explore things, that is okay too. Part of the exploration is embodying into what is true and authentic for you. And sometimes the only way to discover and understand what's fully for you or what you want is by actually sticking your toe in the water, so to speak, and seeing if it feels aligned. Sometimes you're just going to know, okay, that's a no, that doesn't feel right. Sometimes you're going to get the green light. Yes, this is exactly what I've been looking for. And other times there's going to sort of be those like uncertainties. When those come up, that is the opportunity to step into yourself, building your trust with yourself. So you stick your toe in, you take a step forward, you see if it feels aligned, right? In that moment, if not, then you take a step back. If it feels like, okay, I'm open to keep exploring this, step one sounds pretty decent. Let's see where it goes. But you don't have to make this overarching long-term commitment to anything if you're uncertain, right? If you're not ready, don't do it. If you are open to finding out, then let yourself go through that process. This is a big, important part of the embodiment in new and deeper ways. And if you start it and then in the middle of it, you're like, you know what, this does not feel correct for me, well, then you gracefully allow yourself to bow out. And the beautiful thing is that not only did you learn more about what was for you or what might not be for you, but you've also strengthened yourself in your standards, my loves. Oh, and that reminded me, I got asked to do a video about the shared space and DF standards. I did not forget about it. But this message really wanted to come through for the full moon today. So be on the lookout for those topics coming forward, hopefully pretty soon. And it's all sort of intertwining with where we are now because we're working so much in the shared space, and divine feminine standards are a significant portion of what supports these next levels of evolution for all of us. So, with that said, that's sort of touching in on what many of the feminines may have already been doing or are finding themselves on the precipice of. And just remember, it's a deeper form of your physical world embodiment of your true full essence. It's not about you having all of the answers. It's not about it being perfect. This is about you allowing yourself to go through the process to embody your truth deeper and deeper and deeper. Okay, my loves, it's actually a really beautiful opportunity to step into who you've always been and who you've always wanted to be in that sovereignty energy. Okay. Hmm. What else? Is there anything else that would like to come through with that? I do feel like something wants to come through for the masculines. Let's see what we got. Wow. Straddling worlds, wandering between realms. Look at that. It's even like the same colors. This feels very much like the faded energies that the masculines are in process of right at this moment. It's coming through, and I know many of the feminines have experienced this and may even be walking versions of it now as we speak. But this feels like the masculines on a grand scale are becoming very aware that there sort of are two worlds. And it's the world that they grew up in, that they knew, that they've probably been residing in for most of their life. And then this whole new world of the new ways that are opening up in their awareness. Now, I know that there are some masculines who have already been doing this. They've already been walking it. They've already been holding the space. And that is part of how they're supporting the collective energies with opening in new and deeper ways to this energy. It's sort of like what I talked about at the beginning, where we're all working in tandem with our specific parts and points. And I know that there's actually many more masculines stepping forward to support this process as they are called. And this feels important because it feels like the ways that the masculines are beginning to bridge, and it's sort of like where the feminines bridged from the higher energies down. You see the masculines are bridging from the lower chakras up. And what I'm sensing is that many of the divine counterparts are actually much more stabilized through all of the chakras and so able to hold that full pillar as feminines, as masculines, or that's like what's beginning to really open up is the feminines have been working on their internal union and holding that. It's opening that space for the masculines to straddle and align. So, how this feels to me is, that's part of the embodiment process. And the masculines, I see in here, he's really looking up towards source. And oh my gosh, yesterday on that cover photo, I was guided to do purple lightning for the masculine. And as you can see, there's this purple energy. So in the blue with the communication. So it does feel very much like the masculines. And for those masculines here, if you feel guided and open to it, we would love to hear from you in the comments if this is resonating or if there's things that you want to share and let the feminines know. It I spoke a bit about this energy, and it's connected with some messages that Connor has been bringing through on his channel and conversations that him and I have been having, connected with this energy of like a lightning, which is sort of that flash of the masculine coming into his embodiment. And this energy of where the counterparts are holding those pillars of light, holding the pillars of stability, and allowing this divinely aligned process to occur. As I'm saying that, I'm even seeing more that it's like the more of us that are doing it, like many hands make for lighter work. This is sort of when we're looking out at the overarching collective energies. Like, yes, when you are on this process and on this journey, you're looking at it like what is occurring within your initiation between you and your counterpart. And initially, that is where your attention needs to be so that you can unravel and clear out and discern what is the distortion and what needs to be released between you so that you can come back into your true fated energies and really restore the true essences within yourself, then ultimately come to the table with the bigger collective to work together within these energies of stabilizing for the planet. So a lot of times when you hear that these connections are part of this ascension process, this is one of the ways that it all sort of starts to weave together. And I just feel guided, like if that sort of feels overwhelming for you in any given moment, you do not have to necessarily worry about anything about the overall planetary energies. If that feels overwhelming for you now, you focus on what's in front of you. If you are called to those overarching energies, obviously follow what your guidance is. This message is coming through more so to let you know you're not alone and you have not just gone through this for nothing, or, and I know you guys know that, or yes, you realize like it's helped you grow. But some of you, I've had some conversation, it's kind of like, well, what's next? Is this real? Is this really like taking me somewhere, or have I been making it up? Really, you look at the progress you have been making for yourself and for your life, and that is the alignment, my loves. Regardless of what your story is, regardless of how things might look like they are playing out, what is most important is that you continue to trust yourself. You continue to allow yourself to listen to and follow and surrender to the divine alignment. And you're going to notice that you're feeling more and more of those union energies in the unity consciousness when you are in the space to be able to show up, to be in your stability, and at the same time allow things to unfold and unfurl and blossom in the way that's actually flowing. Okay. But I do feel like I want to get one more. The masculines are sort of they want to come through with more about this straddling two worlds. Two fell. Okay, the first one that came out is the Seven of Cups, and then two flipped down. So it's sort of like this to me is that similar energy of like having these choice points, but choosing and being deeply guided at this point. Like if it was cloudy and uncertain in the past, that higher aligned pathway is becoming very clear. And then we have the Queen of Wands and the Knight of Wands. So this also feels that the initiation that the masculines received from their feminine is also igniting in a new way. And we've talked about this where oftentimes at the beginning of those separation, physical world separation energies, the feminine is thrust deeply into her initiation right out of the gate. And sort of as she stabilizes and aligns and settles within herself and more deeply into her inner union, this is sparking and igniting and opening those next levels of initiation for the masculine. And what I'm feeling with all of this fire, with all of this wands energy in the horse with the freedom energy, is a deep opening for both. A lot more freedom and sovereignty energy coming forward for those of you that have continued to walk yourself through this path and this process, even in the moments and the times and the days where it didn't even seem to make any form of sense. You kept going. And the message is to just let yourself keep going because there is progress being made. There absolutely is. And I know that there might be moments and times. It's like the closer we're getting to the dawn, the closer and the more progress we're making, there's sort of been this energy of like uncomfortable things coming up, but the capacity to move through them and stabilize much, much faster than ever before. And then sort of that um expression of the positive coming on the other side. So some of you may be noticing that you are really balancing and harmonizing and tempering a lot of those extremes and still being able to stay centered in yourself. This is beautiful. Keep going. And for those of you that are having those experiences and sort of feeling like you're on the roller coasters, that is part of that temperance energy. That is part of the embodiment. And it's all good and keep going. It's part of the work that we're in. You're not doing anything wrong. Do whatever you have to do to support yourself and keep going as you are guided. All right, my loves. I'm going to pull one final message for everyone, just as a little way to close it out. Oh, I love it. Lizard spirit, dream the world into being. Those fates, those initiations, and the process of bridging into the new. Allow yourself to keep holding the vision of your dream. Keep focusing on how you want to feel, how you are embodying your standards. And yes, there might be things occurring around you that are not necessarily in that alignment, but that's okay. When you can just allow it to be what it is and continue to refocus and restabilize into your truth, into your vision and your dreams, this is a part of how we bring the fates into reality in the physical world, my loves. Very beautiful. Keep dreaming, keep envisioning, keep imagineering, keep embodying. You're doing beautiful. All right. I hope this was helpful and that you have a beautiful rest of your day. I'm going to drop my information in the pinned comments. I do have some sessions open for next week if any of you are interested in connecting with me. Oh, yeah, and I'm going to be going on Soulology this Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to have a conversation with Todd over there. So we'll see what unfolds with that. Once I get that more information, I'll drop it in the community or the post tab. All right, my loves. Have a beautiful rest of your day and enjoy this full moon essence. Much love. Bye.